Instead of being licensed to kill, James Bond is now licensed to mildly inconvenience. What sort of stuff does he pull? Licensed to make you feel obligated to hurry up when he holds the door open from a long distance. He makes the bad guys watch a 30-second unskippable ad. Do you expect me to talk? No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to watch this 30-minute ad for a charity. Sets the bad guy's computer to require a password change every 007 days. Jamming people's desk drawers so they can only open them a little bit and see what they want to grab but not be able to reach it. He leaves puddles of water for you to step on while wearing socks. And jeans that are just a little too long, so that the cuff gets wet. Moves your keys like 10 feet every time you put them down somewhere. He never hides them, just puts them in a new location that makes you question your sanity every time you do find them. He puts his shopping cart right in front of the one item you need to get to, and then has a 20-minute conversation with a former colleague he hasn't seen in approximately 10 years. Opens the door to your bedroom and instantly leaves without closing it. A license to swap out your fully charged AA batteries for his nearly dead ones. He writes a personal check in the 15 items or less line at the grocery store. Dang you, Bond. He's also one of those crazy couponers who gets things down to like, nearly zero using 12 dang coupons that somehow are allowed to be used together. That really has a nice ring to it. Always makes you 2 minutes late for your train, bus times. If you don't take the bus or train, then you always hit a red light when walking or driving. Reaches down and unties someone's shoe. Then untied the other as they're tying the first shoe back up. Takes a fraction of an inch off one of the legs of chairs and tables of his enemies. Breaks into your house in the dark of night, silent and swift. With the grace of a feline dashes into your bathroom. He pauses, looks back to make sure no one is alerted. Resumes his important mission, as he dexterously grabs the toilet roll and does the unthinkable, runs it under the tap, but only for a split second. Carefully getting one side wet. He smirks, places the roll back on, and acrobatically makes his daring escape out the window. You finally wake, the all too familiar sensation. The morning crap is arriving. You go in your bathroom to relieve your bowels, and as you grab the toilet roll, you freeze. A wet patch, booned. Takes all the lead out of their mechanical pencils. Snips then ends of all the Ziploc zippers so they'll never fully seal. Glues coffee filters together so they'll never get just one, spending an annoying amount of time trying to separate them in the morning. Empties the CO2 in the soda stream canisters so they can't get a good quality carbonation. Turns down the heat in their houses at night so when they wake up it's extra cold and hard to get out of bed. Leaves empty bottles of milk in the fridge. Leaves one ice cube so he doesn't have to refill the tray. When at the grocery store he always pays with a check and can never find where he put his pen, increasing the wait time for everyone behind him in line. When he's walking on a sidewalk he walls in the middle and does so really slowly. When he goes to the movies he's always on his phone texting, with his screen at full brightness. When he's at a party he dips his chips into more than one dip at a time, causing cross-contamination. And finally his ultimate weapon, courtesy of Q, is a device that allows him to make your phone feel like it's vibrating in your pocket. Removing and switching the N and M keys on people's keyboards. Parking very close to the line separating parking spaces. Calling the Mormons and having the Book of Mormon sent to someone's home. My brother did this when he was a kid and the Mormons came to our house to talk to him for months. Driving way below the speed limit in no passing zones. Breaking into people's homes and stealing all of the socks and all of the spoons. Hacking into traffic lights and shutting them down. Going shopping to buy a very large amount of groceries and not letting the person behind him to go first when that person only wants to buy one item. Toilet papering someone's house. Basically he would act like a 13-year-old. Break into people's houses and move all of the furniture 5 inches to the right. He's a very talkative grocery checker who remarks the first time you buy alcohol that they don't need to see it this time, because I trust you, and never requests ID on every subsequent purchase because I know you. Changes the direction the fridge door opens. Years of muscle memory ruined. Swapping push-pull signs on doors. He breaks into houses, opens every bag of chips and crackers and cookies there is, and takes just one, before putting them back. He especially does this to the unopened bags, even more so if there is at least 3 of a kind. Removes all the straws from all of your juice boxes. Every single one. Gets a restaurant drive-through job. Ensures no customer ever gets a ketchup pack or dipping sauce ever. Sneaks into the bad guy headquarters and rearranges all of the keys. If they have labels on them, he removes them. Turns off your alarm clock. Squeezes out all your toothpaste. Uses the last bit of toilet paper. Leaves just a splash of money milk in the jug. Leaves your gas tank on empty. Cuts your shoelaces just barely too short to get a knot into. He goes into the villain's base with bags of soybeans taped to his legs. When he reaches the middle of the lobby, he puts gashes in the bean bags and lets them spill onto the floor as he sees himself away from the premises. He looks down at his phone constantly, wherever he's walking, forcing people to have to dodge him and even then have him suddenly change direction and almost bump into people until he sees them in his peripheral vision and flinches away at the last second. Not that I'm tired of people always doing this in real life or anything. Move things just out of reach so that when you're sitting or laying down, your fingers brush on the thing you want to grab but you just barely can't reach it. Goes into a room far from the room you're in, and talks just loud enough to where you have to yell, "I can't hear you," 16 times, until you have to get up and go to him. He then says never mind, forget it. Not much different than he does now. Driving a tank through streets means someone has to fix the torn-up roads, gunfights where nobody dies means someone needs to plaster the holes, and blowing up structures or cars is just an insurance nightmare for the owners. He's already an inconvenience to the people he doesn't directly come in contact with. Goes into people's homes at night, puts all the cutlery in a bowl, fills the bowl with water, and then places it in the freezer. A universal TV remote, he consistently mutes people's TVs, disables WPS and disconnects the Wi-Fi so they have to type in the password using the awful TV keyboard a few times a day, logs out of all apps, cancels recordings, favorites the porn channels when relatives are coming over, it's like mild torture. Puts small pebbles in people's shoes, and no matter what you will never be able to get it out, and it will always be in a new place each time. While you're away from your desk, he takes screenshots of your desktop and then opens the image. Steals your bottle caps while you're taking a sip, when you plan to save most of the drink for later. Adjusts the temp in the office so it's hot in the summer and cold in the winter. Leaves lights on wherever he goes. Takes some of the wheels off office chairs so they won't roll anywhere, only wobble. Smokes cigars. He's now a Bond villain. All of the villains never kill Bond. They don't just shoot him or poison him. They put him on an island surrounded by crocs, they use lasers. They mildly inconvenience him. Thus he's now a villain. He walks next to you at a slightly faster speed than you and the only way to go ahead of him is to walk faster than your maximum walking speed but slower than your slowest jogging pace. Returns your change at the grocery store, notes first with the coins on top, whilst your other hands are clearly full holding your phone and wallet. Bond views from his speedboat the impenetrable fortress of Dr. Nice Guy. It's a dark, pointy compound situated on a remote island off the coast of Madagascar. He jumps off his speedboat, fully kitted up in an impenetrable wetsuit, and makes his way to the island. He reaches land, unzips his wetsuit to reveal a perfectly fitted suit and tie, completely untouched by the sea water he has just swam through. He smooths down his already somehow perfectly coiffed hair, also somehow untouched by the water despite definitely being submerged in the sea. There are guards everywhere, but they aren't even paying attention. And some of them have gathered and are playing what looks like a low-stakes game of poker on the table outside the main gate. Easy to sneak on through for someone like James Bond. He slips past the guards. Now that his license to kill has been revoked by M, he can no longer just barrel his way into a foyer like he used to. He quickly scrambles the signal of the security cameras inside and creeps to the heart of the sinister headquarters. He reaches his destination, a solid gold door engraved with the words, Dr. Nice Guy's personal bathroom. He slowly turns the shiny gold handle and slips in quietly. There, he spots it. The toilet roll. Gingerly he undoes the spring mechanism and inverses the direction of the tissue paper, so it falls the incorrect way, meaning any unsuspecting man or woman dropping the kids off to the pool will end up grabbing the roll with too much force and will end up triggering a pile of unfurled white chaos. Yes, thought Bond, now when the user grabs just one tissue, the weight of the roll will force it to all come tumbling down to the floor. How terribly inconvenient.